on the internet, like how it looks like? Is it good or bad?
I only watched one video about like interview questions and answers, and I think it was like automated.
Recording in
sound.
progress.
It didn't sound like a actual person is talking, but the questions and answers were like very much in line with what we are covering in this class. So I found it helpful, but it was very like monotonic. It was like a robotic sound. It wasn't like actual interview. It was just the questions and answers. But
Yeah, maybe.
But they covered a lot of subjects that we are actually going through. So
yeah, let me ask you guys one question from today's interview. I took an interview today.
Congratulations.
Oh, you did? Oh,
I have a
how did
headache
it go?
I cannot say it was perfect, but some of the stuff, it was so hard because the position was about the senior Salesforce developer. So what did they ask? They said, I'm trying to hide one field from some of the users. How can I do that?
Some of the users?
Some of the users, for example, like they are connecting for the same app, but they can see the different screen.
We're talking about, I think
can we do, maybe we can use our,
We can use what?
we can use the reactions emojis when we want to talk, maybe sometime like this.
No,
Because everybody wants to say something at the same time. It's okay, but
okay. Just
maybe it is easier for everybody.
okay, it's fine. I don't know.
I never use those emojis. I don't even know where they're located. Is it underneath? Oh, okay, I see that.
Yeah.
Smiley face. Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm lowering my hand.
Okay. What do you want to say, Ebruni?
I just wanted to say, is it possible to do that with Apex triggers?
Is there any other easy way?
We can do.
I don't think
we can do. We can set profiles for that particular
group.
Well, yeah, and then we can assign users to that, and then restrict that field with the object heading.
Okay. What else? Like that is not the answer I'm looking for.
Page layout. That's the easy. That's the easiest way to,
What is it? I didn't hear.
Can we hide some fields from the page layouts?
Sure. As we did before.
We did this one like yesterday or the day before yesterday, right?
Yeah. We did it before. We give the technical position for C++, C#, Java, and etc., and non-technical positions, Excel, something, we assign it for a different page layouts for different positions, and then be able to, change the view.
And before we go to the page layout, what did we do?
We created for 2 positions, so there should be a position. So one was the
record type.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we are playing around with the page layouts, we need to adjust the record types also, right? Because what is the usage for the record type? We can hide some values from the pick lists, right? We give this example. We said like if we are using states and stds, and In our example, there was like service or finance, that kind of stuff. If it is finance, it's supposed to show to the technical people, for example. But the other one is supposed to go through the non-technical. So to make that separation, we need to arrange the record type. According to record type, we need to create the page layouts. On the page layout, we can show whatever field we would like to show them, and we can hide whatever field we would like to hide from them. This one was one of the questions. And okay, so I have a scenario. In this scenario, I have a country field inside the account object. And I would like to update this field inside the account object. At the same time, when I update this field, I would like to do the same update on the related contact records. How can I do that?
Flows, probably.
Start with flows.
Triggers.
Okay, if you have option, like you can do it with the flows and you can do it with the triggers. Both of them are correct. Which one do you prefer?
Flow.
Flow.
Trigger.
I would prefer trigger.
Okay. The logic on Salesforce, what it says, it has been saying, keep saying that like low code in Salesforce, right?
Correct.
If you can make something with the automation tools, which is admin tools, you should do with that. So if I can do it with the flows, I'm gonna do it with the flows. Since we didn't cover the flows types, but you guys already finished it. So what type of flows you know?
Screen. Scheduled.
Auto trigger, I think.
Okay, these are all correct. Let me try to remember one more question. Okay, this is a good example. What is external ID? We didn't cover this one, I believe, but while Sanjay was explaining, I believe I mentioned this one.
Is that something related to when we are getting data from an outside source? So we need the external ID to integrate that data into the Salesforce system?
It is related, but if you are pulling any data from outside resource, you can use any field because you can describe that field as an external. But if you are taking any data from Salesforce, and if you would like to use that one as an external ID, like where you can reach this external ID? Is there anyone like volunteer to share the screen?
I can, if nobody wants.
Yeah, it looks like nobody wants to.
And by the way, I'm at this, like at one point, I'm expecting an important phone call. So at one point, if I like
Yeah,
disappear, that would be the phone call. So I'm
Okay,
not gonna
that's
actually
fine.
like share my screen unless I have to.
Okay, it's fine. So, Aslı, if you share the screen.
Okay, I'm trying to. Okay, here, I think. Okay. So you said where we reach external
ID.
ID?
Yeah, don't confuse about the like user ID or profile ID or record ID. We are not talking about them. We are talking about external ID.
API name.
No, not
Does
that.
it have to do anything with data?
Yeah, just go through the object manager.
Object manager.
Yeah, this is something you always see, but you never pay attention.
Should I
Just go
choose
through
any?
any object, fields and relationships, and just try to create a new. Choose text, for example. Okay.
Here.
Can you see that?
Mm.
Yeah.
If you set this field as a unique record identifier from an external system. So what is it basically? If you are doing any data migration, for example, and if you pick this field while you are creating as an external ID, then what you can do, like while you are using the data loader or something, you can use this one as a identify the records. Instead of like Salesforce record ID, you can make any field, not all of them, some, because while you are creating some of the data types, you are not going to be able to see this external. But especially for the text and I believe numbers, you are going to be able to see this. Right.
Should we check this when we create a new field?
No, we have never
Yeah.
picked this one.
Okay.
All right. So I'm
So
just trying
what
to...
is the main usage? Can you explain again? Is it just for data loader?
Don't think about data loader, but if you are doing any, like you are pulling data from somewhere else and trying to integrate with the Salesforce. Instead of like one by one records, you are just trying to put all the records together to the Salesforce system. But at the same time, you would like to identify the records. When you click this one as an external ID, it makes this as a unique identifier. So whatever you are putting inside this field, it should be unique for that record. Like it is, it has already record ID for Salesforce, right?
Yes.
When you click this one, it is gonna be another external ID for you.
Mm.
And that way be able to figure it out for external system. What is the, the approach?
Yeah, since think about like we are always talking about the Salesforce, but sometimes, not only sometimes, most of the times, companies are using different systems, and they would like to integrate them together. They want them to work together. So there is a, like, I can say they are taking something from Salesforce and they are taking another thing from the different system. While they are doing this, they can assign any field as an external ID to make it like unique and use that one as an identifier while they are doing like this migration in between the
Like
Yeah.
we did with the data loader, matching the name and the
Mapping.
like
Yes.
mapping.
And if you ask me, guys, like I use this one as an external ID field during the data migration. So if somebody asks you, if you give this example, they cannot say anything because that's truly happening while you are using the data loader. But I don't think this is just for data loader. So because, for example, data import wizard, you can do some migration. You can do data migration with the workbench. And there is something else, it is called Salesforce Inspector. You can do the migration from there. It is not specifically for data loader, but if you just say it is, we can use this one during the data migration, that is correct.
So if we click this checkbox and you create this fields, let's say that there are a bunch of them
Yeah.
in an object, and another company needs like all of this to integrate their system, and they're mapping, and then they're just like creating reports based on all this records. Is it gonna, if we click on this checkbox, is that gonna make that process of data migration for their end to make everything easier for them?
No, actually, it is gonna make it easy for you. For example, you are taking some data from like existing company, and they were not using Salesforce, because we did this one like while we are migrating the data from the government agency. They had records maybe like last 30 years, something like that. So we picked some value over there because in Salesforce, we have Salesforce ID, like record ID. It is unique for that record. But in the other systems, maybe they don't have something to identify. We are looking and trying to find something unique, and that unique record or that unique value, it needs a place inside the Salesforce, right? When you make this field as an external ID, you can put this unique value inside this external ID. In that way, beside the Salesforce record ID, you have another unique identifier.
Right. Okay.
Does it make more sense?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And also, I'm just thinking, what was another question? I am not asking about the developer portion because there was like detailed questions and they want to share the screen and they want from me to like write a test class, which is like you guys didn't see that yet. I remember this detail, external ID. And they ask one more thing. We just touched on that a few days ago also. They said like how you can create, they started to ask questions about the relationships and they come back to like many-to-many relationship. And they asked me like how you can create a many-to-many relationship.
With a junction object.
Okay, so this is the part, when you say something, they are gonna keep asking until they hear what they are looking for. So what are you gonna do with the junction object?
So we need
to create two master detail relationship with two objects, and there will be a junction object.
Okay, so like how do you create the junction object?
With a
Great.
first. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I've already talked too much.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say by creating like master detail relationship.
That's correct. But where should be the junction object? Like, how do you create it?
So we create different objects and then link them with master detail relationship. And then many-to-many, we link each object in many-to-many relationship.
I guess junction
First creating
object will
connection with the one
have,
object.
yeah.
First creating connection with the one object, like lookup or master detail, if it's possible. Depends for the condition.
No lookup.
There's
No, trying to mean first connection. You know, maybe there is a data or something, or we trying to put a position for the junction, then updating it for a master detail, then connect with the other object. At that time, it's able to share same data with the two objects.
if you go through that detail, because in this case, if you just say, we can create the junction object, and junction object will be the child for two different objects in the master detail relationship. So basically, we are going to have one junction object. That junction object will be connected to the master detail relationship to the parent object. You can give an example. You can say this is position, this is job posting, and the other one is employment website. It has master detail relationship to the position as a child, and also it has a master detail relationship to the employment website with the master detail relationship as a child. In that case, you can explain you need two master detail relationship and one junction object to create the many-to-many relationship. But if you go through that detail, the next question will be like this. So say you created like two objects, custom objects, and they don't have any data inside. And you would like to create a field to make a master detail relationship in between these two objects. Is it possible?
No,
Why?
because if they don't have any data in it, you're not able to create master detail relationship with each other.
Okay.
First we can-
Can you share your screen?
Flash, shock.
Do you still have that doctor and hospital objects?
Sure.
Do you have any field inside them? Or do you have any records?
I don't think so.
Okay. Can you try to create a master detail relationship in between these two objects?
What happens if you just say view object? It was saying if you want, you can just go there and try. I don't know if it's
I
like
was trying to
view
find-
object.
So this is the hospital. Let's say new.
You are creating it from the
It's okay. Which one is child? Which one?
master.
So let's do the right way.
Just click anywhere to fill out that field name. Yeah. Okay, change the field name as a hospital 123 something. Ah, what happened?
It's created.
You are remembering one detail, that is good, but you are remembering that detail wrong. If we created two custom objects without any record inside, there is no existing records inside, we can create the master detail relationship directly.
I think there was a
Can you
question
repeat it
in the
again?
quiz.
Yes, there was a question about that.
And we did an example, but I'm just making sure if I remember it the right way or the opposite way. So when we had a record inside, we were not able to create master
If
detail.
we have any existing records
Mhm,
inside the objects which we are trying to create a master detail relationship in between,
mhm.
in that case, we need to have the lookup relationship first.
Mhm.
And when we create this lookup relationship, we need to make sure all the records have lookup relationship in between them. If it is not, it's not gonna work.
But that's the trick part. That's what I mentioned. First, we need to create a lookup. This already has the lookup between each other. That's why it's given a chance to create a master detail.
But no. You can delete both of them and you can create the master detail again.
But we didn't convert the lookup to
We
master
didn't
detail.
use the hospital field to convert it to the master detail. We created another field named hospital 123.
That's connected between.
The thing you need to remember is if there is an existing records, we cannot create the master detail relationship directly.
Mhm.
But we can create the master detail relationship. After lookup relationship, we can just convert it to the master detail. To make this conversion from lookup to master detail, we need to make sure all the records, they are using that lookup relationship. If it is not using one of them, then it's not gonna work. This is the most tricky part about the relationships. That's why I keep asking the same question. All right. So I don't remember much more questions right now, but if I remember, I can ask you guys later on.
And actually, I tried to do that. I think I had the record already. So, and I have the message saying you cannot create a new master detail relationship on an existing custom object if records already exist.
Yes.
So it does give us that message.
Yes. And we tried this one before
Mhm.
with, I think Ebrunil was sharing the screen.
Right.
Okay, so if we come back to the data security again, we can continue from data security. I'm just trying to review this kind of stuff because we have a bunch of questions to cover about the interviews. And as I mentioned before, the hardest part in the interview is while you are under the stress about getting a job, you should remember all these details. That's why you need to repeat a lot. We are just trying to cover, if we like finish this data security, then we are gonna be able to complete the admin part without the automation tools. So we talked about the field security before, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. How we can use the field level security and what does it for us? Or like, just try to describe me what is the field level security.
We can control the user, what they can see, edit, delete of a particular field in the object.
That's correct. And
we do this while creating the field.
okay, and where else?
Field level security and page layout.
And profiles.
In profiles and on the page
Permission
layout.
sets. And permission set.
Yes, because whatever we can do on the profiles, we can do for the permission sets. I need a volunteer to share the screen and show me. Ebrunil, for example. Okay, just try to show us like where we can reach the field level security from the profile first.
In this page, we are going, I think, system administrator.
Yeah, as a profile, you can pick that one.
And object settings.
Okay.
And for example, let's work on case. We always work on account. But I don't know if the case here or not. Case. I choose one of the object.
Okay.
And under the field permissions, we can set up read access and edit access after I click this edit button.
Okay. If we just say read access or edit access, what is the difference?
For read access, if we click, this admin cannot do any addition on these fields.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you show us this one from the other option?
Permission sets.
If you do the permission sets, you are just gonna pick a permission set and you are gonna show us the same screen. But we have another option we set like from the page layout.
Yeah, from object manager. If I go to account and under the account page layout.
So how can we make any field as a edit or like read on?
I think when we click this gear icon, we can do from here read only or required. I see.
Where is the edit?
Yeah, edit is not here. So I'm trying to remember.
It was the
Yeah.
count employees. So can you choose another field?
Yeah, for example, account name. No, you cannot hide, I think.
Like fax or phone maybe on the right, maybe. Just a
Okay.
moment.
No, edit option is not here. To
If you guys remember, we were talking about this while we are creating the field. It was
Yeah.
giving us some options, right?
Yeah, visible and read only.
Yes. Can you just
Yeah.
try to go to the fields and relationship
Yes.
and just try to create a new field and it dummy like
Mm. I see external ID here, required checkbox here.
we will never forget after this point.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see it right now?
Yeah.
This is the place, like while we are creating the field, we are giving like if they are gonna be visible or read only for the profiles. So basically we are creating something custom field and we are giving the field level permission while we are creating.
So
And
is
that permission is affecting the profile.
this called the page layout?
No, page layout is the other one, but
Not just the read only option, no edit option. Okay.
okay, you can just cancel it and we can continue with today's topic. Let me share my screen. Let's see. Share. Okay. Will be right back. And right here. We talk about the org level, object level, field level. This is the last one, record level security. But this is most important one, I can say, because what's happening while we are creating the record level security, we can allow some particular users to view an object, but we can restrict the object records they are allowed to see. What does it mean? They have access for the object. For example, if we are just talking about the case object, okay? Normally, on the profile settings for the object level security, they have access. Say they have CRUD access. But on the record level, we are restricting some stuff. There is an example here. It says interviewer can see and edit her own reviews, but she cannot see the other reviews which is provided from the other interviewers. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Think about like this. Whenever we create any record, that record has an owner, right?
Yes.
Because we are just talking about the records right now. If I come here, if I can open my this one. and say, I'm looking for the recruitment, say position object. Each and every record has a owner here, created by this guy. According to this knowledge, we can make some changes on the records. And what it can be, there are different type of record level security. When somebody says record level security, you need to remember the OWD, organization-wide default. Role hierarchies, sharing rules, manual sharing. If you want, you can skip the Apex sharing. This is something you are gonna share with the coding. But at least you need to give them like this 4 options. OWD, role hierarchies, sharing rules, manual sharing. Now we are gonna go and deep dive these details. I'm just checking something. If you guys remember this one, if I can find it right here. So inside this light green, it is record level. And it covers OWD, role hierarchies, sharing rules. Teams means Apex sharing and manual sharing. Apex sharing, you can say it automatic sharing also. We are gonna touch on that one. So we are gonna start with the OWD. Do you guys remember anything about the OWD? Anything? Anything helps. Please. Okay, before this one, let me go through this one. OWD, this is the baseline level of access. What does it mean? I showed you guys a picture before. I'm gonna show you again.
Username, password.
No, that
No?
is the most restricted user should have. So we are just talking about the records, okay? This is the bottom line, baseline. For that user, this is the most restricted level.
So
What
this
do
is the basic one, right?
you can say just most restricted, or you can say default level access right here on the last paragraph. OWDs are used to restrict, like profiles. If you remember the difference between the profiles and permission sets, what did we say? On the profile, we are restricting. On the permission sets, we are just making it wider. We are giving more permission. In here, OWD, we are just restricting. And this restriction is the most restricted area for that user, for that specific record only. You can say like default level access for the user, or you can say this is the baseline, bottom line of the access, because at least they should have this access for that record. If I come to this one, which I showed you guys before, OWD is the bottom line. We are talking about the visibility. The visibility is opening up when it goes up. So it is starting from the OWD. Okay. That is why this is the bottom line for that particular record access for that user. And if you would like to give more access for that guy, you can just, according to role hierarchy, you can give something. If you are giving like sharing rules, then you can make it wider and you can make it bigger if you are using the manual sharing. If somebody asks you guys, you should remember this picture for the OWD. And these four are the record level security. It is starting with the OWD. Why it is important? Because OWD is the most restricted access for that record. Does it make sense? Now I'm gonna come back 2 slides back. In here, I need to move this. What we have on the first column, it is about the object permissions. The green ones, it shows they have access. And right next to it, it is written like candidate object, position object. But for the offer object, there is no access. Where did we adjust this thing? Let me use a pencil. Okay, where do we arrange this thing? From the object permission. What was the object permission?
OWD.
Object, not the record.
Permission sets.
What was the object level security?
Profile.
Profile and permission sets.
Yeah.
The second one, what fields on those objects can a user see? This is about the field level security. Inside the candidate, we have a field name, first name. We have a field name, last name. We have a field, it has a name of home phone. We can restrict some fields from that user to see. How we can do that? From the field permission. Where we can do this field permission? We can do either on the profile or while we are creating the record. You can say page layout, but you are creating the record, you can arrange it. So you didn't give any access for this home phone.
Sorry, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Here. You said while you are creating a record for page layout.
Creating a field. I'm
Field,
sorry.
right? Okay. All right.
So for the position object, you are giving a permission for title field, you are giving a permission for the location, but for the salary, you are restricting the access. From which level? From the field level. You can do it either like while you are creating, or you can do it, go to the profile and find the field level security and just make it read only. Okay? Or if you give it edit, then everything will be like this. Okay, this part is the record level security. Since we talk about the OWD, this is one kind of record level security, and this is the baseline, bottom line. What you can do, you can make the records private. You can make them read-only, because it has an eye here. You can see them. Or you can just make them private. You can do these three. When somebody asks you, at least you should remember these three. Like make it private, private read write, or read only. I'm gonna come to that, but I want you guys to remember this chart while you are talking about the record level security, because it is including the object level, field level, and this part is the record level. So you can make it private, read only, or you can just do these are. Can you see the other record level access? Sharing rules, manual sharing, role hierarchies. If I come back, let me get rid of this pen. So we talk about this. Okay, where we can reach this OWDs. This is the thing we need to follow. Basically, from the setup, we are searching for the sharing settings. Then we are going to select the object, and underneath the object, we are going to focus on the OWD. When we edit it, we have an option to make it private, public read only, public read write. Okay, let's do that. Disregard. Okay, so if I try to go to setup, the name of it is OWD, but if you just try OWD here, you are gonna get nothing. Sharing settings. When you click on the sharing settings, you are gonna see all the objects, whatever you have. But for this one, OWD is right here. You can just pick the object, whatever you are looking for. In that way, you are just gonna see the OWD for that specific object. It looks like it is just a private, okay? When you say edit, what you can do, it is showing like all these objects. What you can do here, you can make it private, private public read only, public read write, which means everyone can make some edit or update. Or you can make it public read write transfer. Do you guys remember the transfer records we talk about it? If somebody even just have access only, read only, but if we give them transfer, they can transfer that record. So these are the ones which we can do, but it is more than this. It is changing according to the object. If I come back to my slides, not this one. So I need to come here. What I can do with the OWDs, I can give all these values for that specific record. It depends that record under which object. I can make these are, so we talk about these like including transfer and private, but there is an option for the control by parent. So for this one, what it should be? If it says controlled by parent, which means this object should have a parent, it makes this object as a child, right? So if we have any relationship in between two objects, like this, or let me see this contact, it can be controlled by parents. So if we are talking about any child object, we have an option to make it controlled by parent. What does it mean? It means if I make this one something, it is going to apply to the child also.
Is it just for the record level security?
Yes, we are all talking about the record level security today.
Okay.
So if I make the account records private, this is going to turn to private. If I make my parent read write, when I say okay, this one should be read write. I don't know why. So anyway, I'm just going to cancel it. I don't want to change anything here. But this is one of the options. You can provide it with the OWD. The other stuff, let me go to the slides again. Use, no access, view only, hide details and events, show details and events. These are all the values you can provide with the OWD. Let's see the examples. Can you see price book object? It has a use. You can make it view only. You can make it no access. And above that, we have a calendar. We can hide the details or details and events, show the details, show details and events. If anybody asks you any question about the OWD, if they are going to ask you something about the data security, most probably they are going to ask you about the OWD. You should at least count these up, at least, because you have in total like 13 different values here. But you should mention at least these are. Like you can say, when I make it private, what's going to happen? The only user who is going to see that record is going to be the owner of that record. Only record owner will be seeing that record. We are talking about the record, not the field.
But the access is up to the object, right? Like in calendar, it's different, or in
Yeah,
user, it's different.
But when they ask you, no need to go these details, okay? But you should remember something was different for the different object.
Mhm.
But at least these are, you need to know and you need to provide. Because when they say OWD, they are expecting at least these are. You can make the records private, or you can make it like public read only. You can easily understand like what is public read only. Only owner can edit, but the other people, other users inside the same org, they can see the record, but they cannot edit. They cannot update on it.
And that goes for all the records in that particular object, right? Like in read and contact, like all the records.
If we are just doing for this,
Mhm.
it is gonna affect the child object.
Contact too.
Remember
Yeah.
this.
Mhm. Yeah.
But if we are just looking for the lead, It is
Mhm.
just going to affect the lead object.
Okay.
So
Okay.
basically what is happening here, if we come back to this again. So user has access for the candidate and it has access for first name and last name fields, but for the record, it is private. So only he can see it.
Who?
Or
The owner?
owner.
Okay.
Mhm.
If this user, instead of this user, there's another guy here, say this is the Alijan. Okay. So Alijan is not gonna be able to see this because it is private. But if for the position object, he has a record which is read-only, he can see, but he cannot update. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
And then we mentioned about this. Let me see what I have. Okay, we already talked about this. While doing the setting on the OWD, can we change or modify the setting of child record in case of master detail relationship? No, we cannot change the setting for the child record because child record is controlled by the parent. Next, we talk about this. Okay. So we have something called grant login access hierarchies. I should put this one after the role hierarchies. So what is role hierarchies? Just focus on the name, role hierarchies. So it should be a hierarchy inside the org. It is starting from the CEO or president, CEO, CFO, it goes like that. And then according to this hierarchy, which or whoever has a higher hierarchy than the other, they can see all the records of this lower position users.
Ordinates and the subordinates we mentioned before for
Yes.
that positions. Ordinates able to see subordinates data and whatever they have access.
Okay. And like, do we know how to make this access? Because if we talk about this role hierarchy, we need to make it enable from somewhere.
I think we do that
From
going to roles
Yeah, we can search.
in there. Yeah. And
So we are gonna write down just roles.
yes.
Okay.
And click on roles and we will do the setup roles in the middle and
Okay.
expand all, and we can like add a role underneath like a
Okay. So we can add a role. In that way, we can design the hierarchical level inside that org. That is correct. But what I'm asking is, like, how we can grant that access using the role hierarchy.
Under profiles.
Okay, I want you guys to read here. What time is it, by the way? Okay, we have time. So this one is for the standard objects. This is automatically, by default, it is enabled. What is enabled? I hate this PowerPoint sometimes. Grant access using hierarchies. It is already enabled for what? Only standard objects. For the custom objects, we need to enable that checkbox. Where is this checkbox? This is correct, but this is just designing the role hierarchy inside the org. According to like what position you are giving to that specific user, if it is on the top, he's gonna be able to see this guy's records. If I click that checkbox, now we are trying to find that checkbox. If I go to profile and go to the demo user profile and then choose the object setting, choose the object. No, it's not here. This is default record type, not here. Just go to the profile. I'm just messing up right now. Sharing settings. Okay.
Maybe in
Right
role.
here.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So basically, because we are talking about like record level security, right? Why do I need to go to the profiles? It's supposed to be under the sharing setting. So when I select the object, this is already selected. If I say edit, there is no way I can edit this thing. These are already enabled by Salesforce from the beginning. But if I have any custom object, I can change these settings. So if I disable this checkbox for that blanket or for that candidate object, this role hierarchy is not going to work. That's why this is important. So, which means if you are working in a company and if you would like to hide some records from the president, it is possible, but it is just possible for the custom objects. You cannot change for the standard because they would like to keep them informed. That's why these are all selected from the beginning.
So if we don't enable this checkbox, the person, all the roles higher than the user, they're not going to be able to use the records, right?
That is correct if I make this one private. If I make it public, no need to like disable this thing. If the purpose is like make that report private or hide.
So if I do it private and then check enable this grant thing, grant access. So is he going to be able to see the reports?
No, you can try with your second user. Just try to arrange the role hierarchy and give the second user as a role, like higher hierarchy from your system admin, and make one of the object as a private and just disable this. Anyone who wants to try it? I take that one as a no.
I can try. I don't mind if no one would like to.
Yeah, if you want to. Otherwise, I would like to finish the data security today.
I don't mind to share my screen.
Yeah, okay, share.
So I already opened the incognito. So let's say
Just make sure your second user is having higher hierarchy from your system admin.
so let's say share.
Just go to the roles.
Users unveiling this one. It has standard user, going to roles, setup roles, expand roles. So the higher position over the administrator and should be the fortune tag.
You can make it, no, like,
CEO.
just go to your users and check your second admin user first. What is the
Yeah.
role? What is the role for it?
Okay.
You have a role as a VP something. No, it was not that. Okay, just edit and specify your role. Yes.
Let's
Just
say
make,
CFO.
no. Just give something lower. Yeah, Eastern sales team, for example.
Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
This
say,
is your system admin.
okay.
And give like CFO for the second user. Okay. Now go to the OWD settings. And from there, just pick an object. Just choose one of the custom object we have, like position or something. Okay. That position supposed to be private. And just uncheck that, yes. And save it. Okay.
So I'm logging in, right?
Yes, as a second user.
No.
Is there any position record which you created from the second user?
No. Let me check. Should be.
Because if you have any, he's gonna be or she's gonna be able to see only her or his records.
Over here, I have some positions.
But over
There is a
there,
position object, but over here, he's not able to see.
yes. So does it make sense?
Let me make it more visible.
Why are you guys so quiet? It is time to make some noise.
When we click something, maybe we see a lot of lines and a lot of words. So it make me, I don't know, too much. I
No,
feel too much.
it's not too much. The only thing you should be aware of testing,
Yeah.
even if you start to work in a company, don't
Yes.
think about like you know everything. There is always something missing.
Yes.
Even if you repeat this like Salesforce admins like 10 times, believe me, you are gonna miss something. But most important thing is that when somebody asks you something, if you don't remember, try to figure that out. In that way, you are not gonna forget that.
Can
Or you
I
are gonna
ask
forget it
something?
very rarely, I can say.
When somebody has an interview and there was a question which we don't know or we don't remember at the moment, and what is the proper way passing that question or
Okay.
answering the
For
polite
For
way?
example, if they ask you, because for the developer portion especially, they might ask you something about like workflows. And you can explain that like this. While I was working, Salesforce already said like they are going to replace with the process builder and flows. That's why we didn't have any user cases which is related to the workflows. I just get a chance to work on the flows.
Okay, this
So
is good. Okay, yeah.
this is the like structure. You can say, I couldn't get a chance to work on the workflow. I couldn't get a chance to work on the like Aura components or something like that.
I understand. Okay.
In that way, you are saying no, basically, but you are just trying to make it polite.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue. It is 52. Okay, just leave it right here. What we did last, we talked about the role hierarchy. Still, we are gonna talk about the sharing rules, but we are almost done after the sharing rules. What I'm gonna do, since we are not gonna, we can stop the recording if possible. Just give me a second. So